Hi, everyone. You're listening to the Your Number One Fan podcast, and I'm your host, Kim. I want you to think of me as your number one fan, and this podcast to be the most encouraging and inspiring thing you listen to every week. We're talking about mental health, mindset, not caring what people think, pivoting in life, being a mom, relationships, and much more. I'm so happy you're here. Now let's get into it. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Your Number One Fan podcast. Today I have Elena with me, and she is an experienced astrologer with a full-time job, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so she does this.
Hello.
She does this along with her job, and I think her story is just super interesting with how she pairs it with what she does for a living, and then how it's really changed her life, learning more about herself, healing herself, I would say, through learning more about herself. So the whole purpose of this podcast is to get more in tune with yourself, find confidence, and live authentically. So I think it's awesome to have on an astrologer who can give us some insight into why we might benefit from finding out more about our astrology. And yeah, so we're going to get into that. But I wanted to have Elena kind of introduce herself and tell us why you are interested in this, why you decided to go after it, and whatever comes to mind for you.
Hello. Hi, Kim. Thank you for having me
Of course.
on your show. I'm very excited. My name is Elena. I'm a astrologer, and this is not my main job. I'm 46 years old. I live in New York, but my family immigrated from Ukraine in 1990s. We immigrated because of some religious, seeking religious freedoms. At that time, I was in my teens, finishing high school, then basically trying to make sure that I don't disappoint my parents, go into something that's, steady. And I mean, I was drawn into things like medicine.
Right.
Um, and I knew that I was going to pursue medical career.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on to studying. I finished college, and then I became a physician assistant. Started working right away.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, in my 20s, I met my husband, married, had two wonderful kids, and everything was going fine until I kind of realized that it wasn't really sort of enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Something was missing. Plus, all my life, I was seeking some questions, in my mind. Is this all it? Like,
Right.
are we all here for, just to basically go to college, get married,
Right.
and have kids?
Right. Yeah.
What's out there? What's going on? Why am I, having lots of thoughts? And I was looking into those questions all my life. It wasn't just one time. So I also noticed that um, I was kind of getting, the questions were coming up, and I was kind of getting unhappy, kind of going into some little small health issues.
Mm-hmm.
I fell at one point and broke my wrist, and it was kind of devastating. And I was like, "What's going on? Why it happened to me?" After I had my kids, I had kind of bad back
Mm-hmm.
pain issues, and that was actually not getting better. It was just getting kind of worse.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going through chiropractors, everything. So it wasn't a smooth ride. Plus, at work, even though I'm happy that I went and I'm pursued the career because I love the career, but it was kind of stressful for me. I was putting all my energy into it. I was coming home unhappy, drained, anxious of all the things. So something wasn't going well.
Mhm.
And at one point, basically, I said, no, this I can't be so much. I'm gonna go into depression. I just can't do this.
Mhm.
And I'm young, and what's going on? And interesting enough, I also noticed that my memory was kind of going badly. Like I lost memory.
Mhm.
Like I was not remembering stuff. And I actually put myself on some natural pills to improve my memory.
Yeah.
So interesting stuff that you kind of not notice at first. You
Yeah.
think, oh, maybe I'm getting older, and that this is what it is.
Mhm.
Um, so first of all, I was looking for questions on why is my memory getting, what's going on with my back. Um, Looking into those answers, and reading more and more books about mind, about where we live in this universe. And then internet was going expanding, and Instagram was expanding, so I started using Instagram a lot. And I found this interesting astrologers that put into all this astrology thing into like an actual analytical systemic science. And for me, I'm a physician assistant. I work actually cardiology and cardiovascular, like vascular surgery.
Mhm.
So it's a big stuff. So I'm into, if it's not researched, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
So I need that evidence-based medicine knowledge, and because I'm giving this to my patients. So for me, listening to her approach of yes, hi, this is the system. It's symbols, and there are lots of symbols, and they all mean different things, and it's all depends on the contents of each person has its own story. So um, I listened. I took some classes. Then I liked it, so I went into her school, and then I went into two other people's schools. So I finished three astrology schools. Um, and my focus is on giving people this chance of finding out who they really are, first of all, and then helping them to set their professional goals in life, career goals in life, without going into lots of different choices
Mhm.
before you actually understand yourself and see that this is what you need to be doing.
Right.
So that's one way of putting this, because I'm more goal oriented on finance and professional growth.
Mhm.
On the other hand, we have this um, uh, spiritual part of it,
Mhm.
because in life everything is dual. You
Mhm.
have your material world and you have your spiritual world, and in astrology it's very much shown in that it's very important.
Mhm.
That part is basically growing a woman inside you, because that gives you much energy, and this woman feminine energy helps your partner in life.
Mhm.
So it's all very intertwining.
Yeah.
And this is modern astrology. And it wasn't like this until maybe 20th, 21st century. The old fashioned astrology wasn't about a person. It was mainly going into, it was a hidden kind of knowledge that only influenced people used. They had their astrologers, and they were getting answers for themselves, to fight wars, to make treaties, to see if the royalty will thrive or not, things like that. And the true astrology that is systematic, that analytical, it has been always kind of hidden from the crowd. So nowadays, everything is changing because it's also in the stars. that it's changing, and hopefully that will bring, regular people, common people, to experience this knowledge, and help them to basically get their potential, and be different in life.
Yeah.
Have a have this growth, and have this point of why am I on this earth,
Hmm.
basically.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you have that connection with I mean, your whole basis of everything you're saying is how you're very analytical and it helps to have the facts. And I think that's what people hear astrology and they instantly think like, that's crazy, that's silly, like girls like
Yes,
that stuff,
yes,
like
because
whatever, or like
yes,
newspaper
because
horoscopes.
astrology, yes, Kim, because astrology has been put at the same kind of level as um, um, shamanism, or as, like mysticism. And in reality, it has only parts of it, because that spiritual part is in astrology, as in any religious part. But the main point, if you want to prognose, if you want to predict stuff, it's analytical knowledge.
Right. So, if, for the very basic listener who has no idea what we're talking about, a birth chart is
Yep.
basically where the stars were when you were born, right? The exact moment that you were born.
Yes. Yes. If you take a snapshot of the minute you were born, it's your passport to life.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what a knowledgeable astrologist
Yeah,
would tell you,
I love that.
because it shows, yes, it shows lots of stuff, including, it shows basically your own self, what your core of yourself, and it shows your emotional part, emotional side. It shows how other people see you, what's your values are in life, what things that basically, where's your profession,
Mhm.
where's your career goals,
Mhm.
where's your partner. Yeah, it has that information. And when the regular person just would look at their chart, it's lots of planets, lots of different planets, and lines in between the planets,
Mhm.
which shows basically interaction of some um, planetary interaction.
Right.
And that means that there is, positive interactions. There are kind of not harmonious interactions, and harmonious interactions, I'm not going to say negative interactions. And those that have non-harmonious interactions would not probably feel, they would have some kind of weak planets, weak understanding of who they are.
Okay.
So in those cases, you might take the chart, like a common person would take the chart, see their sun, and see, oh, my sun is in Gemini, and say, oh, let me Google this.
Right. That's me, and I feel
And
like it's
oh
not.
no, that's not me.
Yeah.
Hold on, this is not. They're wrong. They're like liars. What's going on? Yeah, but if your sun has some aspects that are not really harmonious, you are probably not gonna feel your sun 100%, because the interactions of the planets show your um, attitude, kinds of your um, towards some stuff. So it basically, if those blocks, they need to be kind of worked on.
Yeah.
Once you work on those kind of not harmonious aspects,
Mhm.
you start feeling your
Yeah.
planets, and you would feel your Mercury, which is how I think, how I make up my plan, things like that. How what kind of people, or how I talk. That would be a Mercury, and your um, moon, which is a major part of in person's chart, it would show you how